Let me just say this straight out the gate. I really don't think there's many people out there, if any, who genuinely believe Dillon Gabriel is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I mean, I don't care where either of them got drafted, that draft position stuff. It only tells part of the story. If the Cleveland Browns are really the one team out here acting like Gabriel is the better option, then sorry, but I'm calling bluff. Because let's be honest, this franchise hasn't exactly been known for its quarterback evaluations over the past 3 decades. Now look, I never root against a player, I really don't, but I'd be absolutely shocked like Florida if Dillon Gabriel ever becomes a true starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I just don't see it, and if he doesn't pan out, that's a wasted pick. You spent a top 100 selection on him. That's a high-value pick. You don't use that kind of draft capital unless you see someone who can actually contribute. And honestly, the Browns might get away with it. Only because Shedeur Sanders has walked into Cleveland and flipped the whole script. So, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. This man didn't just get drafted, he took over, like overnight. This is starting to feel like Shedeur City now, and apparently there's only room for one quarterback in that spotlight. Gabriel tried to challenge that, and the Browns coaching staff shut it down real quick. Suspended, benched, out of the spotlight, gone. So what actually went down? What led to this whole thing spiraling out of control? Let's get into it, because this is way more than just your average quarterback battle. This whole situation is drama on another level. It's got locker room tension, media madness, and enough behind-the-scenes chaos to fill a full season of HBO's Hard Knocks. So, if you're a Browns fan, or if you're just riding the Shedeur Sanders hype train like I am, you probably want to know what the real insiders are saying. I'm talking about former NFL scouts, guys who've worked with the Niners, the Commanders, the Seahawks. One of those names, Scott McCloughan. That guy knows quarterbacks. He's been part of some major draft wins, especially those late-round gems. And right now, we've got a 5th rounder in Shedeur Sanders who's suddenly looking like the franchise's future. This is not your average QB controversy, folks. This feels like a soap opera written by Aaron Sorkin and Vince McMahon after 6 shots of bourbon. Somehow, a 5th-round pick has triggered a full-blown civil war inside the Browns' QB room. You've got Gabriel and Sanders, both rookies, both with something to prove. The coaching staff said this was going to be an open competition, but let me tell you, from what I've seen and what I've heard, it's not even close. Some Cleveland beat writers tried to push this idea that Gabriel was ahead of Shedeur based on what? A couple of reps in shorts? Look, I don't buy that narrative at all. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. He's got the tools, the poise, the command. Dillon Gabriel, he just had one of the worst weeks you can imagine for a rookie quarterback, Doc. It all started like any normal training camp does. A little optimism, a few bland pressers, and 2 young QBs smiling for the cameras, pretending they weren't each other's competition. That fake harmony lasted about 10 minutes. Because Shedeur didn't just come to compete, he came to conquer. He walked in like he already had keys to the team facility and a reserved seat on the bus. Meanwhile, Gabriel tried to play the quiet, focused guy, talking about simplicity, focus, blocking out distractions. And I respect that mindset, but it just didn't translate. Shedeur, he lit up the Browns defense like he was running a private clinic. I'm talking about slinging darts, reading coverages, hitting tight windows. It didn't matter who was covering who, he made it look easy. At one point, he was running with the 3rd stringers and still cooked the starting defense like it was a backyard barbecue. 17 completions, 3 touchdowns, 0 hesitation, and Gabriel, he looked like a guy who just lost internet connection mid-play. Completely out of sync. The offensive coordinator didn't even wait. The very next session, they bumped Shedeur to the first team. That move shattered Gabriel. Pads off, stormed off the field. He had that tight-jawed, texting my agent walk, you know the one, and behind the scenes, chaos, receivers whispering, linemen side-eyeing, coaches acting like they forgot how to talk to him, and that wasn't a one-off. Word is, Gabriel's been checked out for weeks, skipping optional throwing sessions, quiet in meetings, ghosting teammates. He's mentally elsewhere, somewhere far from Berea. Meanwhile, Shedeur's diving into the playbook, mentoring younger guys, and straight up owning the moment. He's got that star aura. Even the defensive guys are starting to whisper that his reads are harder to defend than the schemes they run. Coaches tried to keep the peace. They say both guys are putting in the work. But come on, we can see through that behind the scenes, they're worried. Not about Shedeur, he's thriving. It's Gabriel who's unraveling. I'm hearing talk of team counselors, emotional support staff. There was even some talk of a trust-building retreat. You know, it's bad when people start planning campfires and sharing circles. Meanwhile, Shedeur is floating through it all like he's got jazz in his headphones and nothing to prove. First in the building, last to leave, smooth as ever. He's not just winning on the field, he's winning in every single intangible way. And let's not pretend like the city hasn't noticed. His social media is blowing up. Everything he posts goes viral. Meanwhile, Gabriel's getting a handful of likes and a comment from his aunt. Local businesses are naming smoothies after Shedeur. Somebody actually pitched the idea of a Sanders Saturday, block party, ownership. They're loving it. The execs are already building a marketing plan around Shedeur. His face is showing up in promotions all over the state, and Gabriel? It's like he's vanished into witness protection. Technically, the team still supports him, but the leash? It's basically dental floss at this point, and now? Other teams around the league are sniffing around. G-Miz are curious. Calls are being made? The Browns might have to make a move. Because right now, it looks like Shedeur Sanders didn't just make the roster, he flipped the whole depth chart upside down. So yeah, this isn't just a quarterback battle. This is a franchise shift happening in real time. Gabriel tried to make it a competition. Shedeur made it a takeover. If this whole process were a football game, we'd be deep in the fourth quarter by now. The clock's ticking. The coaching staff's sweating. And I'll tell you right now, 3 quarters into this thing, Shedeur Sanders has already shown exactly who he is. He's not just showing flashes, he's showing control, leadership, confidence. He's showing NFL-ready traits every single day. And I'm not just talking about outperforming other rookies or second year guys or that random dude who's still trying to make it out of the practice squad. I'm talking about everyone. Even veterans like Joe Flacco. Yeah, I said it. Even. FLACCO.so, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Shedeur Sanders has stepped into this quarterback room and made it his. And it's not just what he's doing with the ball, it's the way he carries himself, the way his teammates are starting to look at him like. He's not just part of the future, like he might actually be the future, but here's where things get complicated. Because Cleveland didn't build this quarterback story around Shedeur, they built it around Dillon Gabriel. They spent months, maybe years, painting this picture of Gabriel being the guy, the one they could mold, the steady hand, the future face of the franchise. They had a whole development plan and place mentors, playbooks, leadership grooming, social media soft launches, you name it, and then Shedeur walks in like a wrecking ball in designer shades, carrying all this swagger, all this natural leadership, and suddenly everything's different. The whole building feels different. It's like Gabriel's arc got hijacked, and nobody told him until it was too late. Now Gabriel's out here throwing cold stares, mixing it up with teammates, getting into scraps during practice, real pads on, helmet thrown kind of scraps. Not some light disagreement. We're talking full meltdown energy. The team hit him with internal discipline so fast, the press didn't even have time to blink. But let's be real, we all know what that means. That's not discipline. That's damage control. That's PR mode. And while all that chaos is playing out, guess what Shedeur's doing? He's just out there grinding, quiet, locked in, showing up early, staying late, still putting his arm around teammates, still asking Gabriel if he wants to run routes after practice. Like the chaos doesn't even touch him. Meanwhile, Gabriel's staring down at the turf like it stole something from him. You can feel it in the air. Every time Shedeur launches a bullet across the field, Gabriel isn't just falling behind. He's being erased. The dude who was supposed to be the guy now looks like a backup in his own storyline, and the Browns? They're trying to keep this thing from exploding. They're flying in team-building consultants, holding emotional check-ins, scheduling connection circles. You name it. I mean, they're practically holding hands and lighting candles at midfield, hoping this locker room doesn't rip itself in half. It's that deep. They've even gone so far as to rework entire practice structures just to make sure Shedeur and Gabriel don't make eye contact, like they're divorced parents at a PTA meeting. Whole training sessions designed to keep them on opposite sides of the field. Imagine that. That's where we are now, and while all that drama brews, here's the wild part. Shedeur's getting custom plays already. Rollouts designed around his speed. Protection shifts built just for him. Blitz packages tailored to match his vision. It's not tweaks anymore. It's a full-on offensive identity forming around this kid. And the Browns are doing it behind. Closed doors, no interviews, no leaks. They're hiding him like he's Area 51 because they know. They know what they have on their hands, and here's what really sets Shedeur apart. He's not just talented. He's composed. He's got that it factor. That intangible you can't coach. He's 6'2", built solid, not a padded roster height. Not a we'll bulk him up project. This dude is a real NFL-ready quarterback. Standing next to regular-sized people, you see it, you feel it. He's got presence, and when you stack him up next to Dillon Gabriel, there's just no comparison. Gabriel's smaller, thinner, less durable. Even compared to guys like B.O. Nix, who isn't exactly the ideal NFL size, Gabriel looks underwhelming. Meanwhile, Shedeur stands tall. He commands the pocket. He delivers. He leads. So now the Browns are staring down the hardest decision they've faced in years. Do they crown Shedeur and risk shattering Gabriel's already fragile confidence? Or do they slow play it, try to protect the original investment, and potentially waste a generational talent who's already captured the locker room? Because make no mistake, this locker room is watching. Veterans are watching. Rookies are watching. The front office is watching. The media circling like vultures, ready to pounce on the first crack in the armor. One wrong move here, and the whole thing could implode. And let me tell you what nobody's saying out loud. Ownership. They love Shedeur from a business standpoint. He's the dream. Social media fire, jersey sales spiking, national buzz. You can feel the marketing machine warming up like a jet engine. This kid could be the face of the franchise on and off the field. Other teams are already paying attention. Scouts, execs, there's a quiet murmur building. How did this guy fall to the 5th round? And how long until Cleveland messes it up? And here's the nightmare scenario. The Browns fumble this and lose both guys. Gabriel mentally checks out. Shedeur gets overmanaged or shoved into the spotlight too fast. The locker room splinters, the culture collapses. All that progress they made, gone, vaporized. But if they play it right, if they trust what's unfolding in front of them, they could ride this Shedeur-Sanders wave into a whole new era. A winning era. A respected era. An era where the Browns are no longer the punchline, but the headline. That's what's on the line. This isn't just about picking a quarterback. This is about rewriting a franchise's story. And right now, all eyes are on the Browns. Every rep, every throw, every whisper coming out of that building, it all matters. So, yeah, this quarterback room, it's not just hot, it's volcanic. And the moral of the story? Sometimes the guy you least expect becomes the guy you can't ignore. This is Shedeur versus the script, Gabriel versus himself. The Browns versus history. And in the end, there's only two ways this can go. Rise or rupture. So stay locked in. Because this isn't just a QB battle anymore. Thanks for watching and see you next one.